simple human sense.
Out on the Hillsdale camera this morning, the road conditions are looking favorable for drivers, but the air still leaves a little bit to be desired. Currently, we're seeing temperatures that are pretty much in the 20s, have had some spots that have cooled down briefly, and that could lead to me grabbing a large, I'd say, today at the coffee shop. 17, the coldest temperature we're seeing potentially by 8 a.m. with partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies, and if you're lucky, you'll see sunshine before it gets covered up. We have plenty of activity in the forecast, and we'll break it all down as 6 News This Morning continues.
WLNS is here for you with 6 News This Morning.
Overnight, the Michigan legislature passed bills that would block changes to tipped wages and paid sick leave. Good morning, Mid-Michigan. It's Friday, February 21st. I'm Jorma Duran.
And I'm Megan Vaselli. Thank you so much for joining us.
6 News is here for you now at this morning's top stories. The final vote was announced just an hour before midnight to stop changes to tipped wages and paid sick leave that were set to take effect today.
We expect the bills to be on Governor Gretchen Whitmer's desk this morning, but it's still not clear yet if she'll sign them.
In both chambers, Democrats and Republicans already approved a bill that would increase the tipped wage to just 50% of the normal minimum wage over time, instead of raising it to equal the real minimum wage, with a goal of eliminating the tipped wage system altogether. However, the State House tie-barred that deal to another bill dealing with paid sick leave, meaning one cannot pass without the other. That was the legislation that got approved last night, which will now not enforce businesses with 10 or more employees to provide up to 72 hours of paid sick leave a year, and smaller businesses to provide at least 40 hours. Lawmakers and other interest groups are speaking out. Democratic State Representative Tanya Meyer said the policy falls short of giving folks, many of whom live paycheck to paycheck, a fair sick time policy and solid worker protections. Meanwhile, supporters of this passage, such as Republican State Representative Ron Robinson, says this would, quote, ensure that our small business owners and tipped workers are protected. 6 News will be here for you the moment a decision is made by the governor.
A man convicted of killing a Lansing teenager back in 1999 is scheduled to be released on parole in April. But now Attorney General Dana Nessel is trying to keep him behind bars. Marcos Reyes pleaded guilty to second-degree murder in 2000 after shooting 15-year-old Isaac Rivera 19 times. A judge sentenced him to 25 to 50 years in prison, meaning he'll have served the minimum sentence this year. The parole board approved his upcoming release last month, but AG Nessel filed an emergency appeal on behalf of the victim's family. She says during his time in prison, Reyes received 72 misconduct offenses, including assault, and had to be held with increased security.
Staying with Attorney General Dana Nessel, she is now joining a 38-state coalition to demand the FDA take action when it comes to counterfeit weight loss and diabetes drugs. Nessel says online retailers are illegally selling knockoffs of Ozempic, Mounjaro, and Wegovy drugs and are selling them directly to consumers without a prescription. Nessel says these companies advertise directly to consumers on social media, claiming their products are easier to get and more affordable, but warns they may be dangerous to ingest.
The Jackson Public Schools Board of Education now discussing how to respond if ICE shows up at a school in the district. This comes amid more reports of Immigration and Customs Enforcement launching raids nationwide. Our media partners at MLive report board member Keisha Hamilton introduced a draft resolution affirming the district as a welcoming one for all students. It also outlines how to handle ICE agents if they do show up at a school. Other board members responded saying they want to be very clear about certain wording examples in the resolution. For example, differentiating between a judicial warrant, which is signed by a judge, and an administrative warrant, which ICE can issue on its own. The board is set to vote on this resolution at its meeting on March 18th.
This morning, thousands of federal workers are still waiting to find out if their jobs will be taken away.
This comes after a federal judge ruled the Trump administration can continue its mass firings.
Meanwhile, President Donald Trump and his senior advisor, billionaire Elon Musk, took another victory lap in Washington, D.C. yesterday. Jared Hill is here for you with why.
Elon Musk whipped out a chainsaw at a conservative conference Thursday.
This is
the chainsaw for bureaucracy.
As a federal judge said his and President Donald Trump's efforts to hack through the federal workforce can proceed. Earlier, the president praised Doge's efforts at a Black History Month event.
Elon Musk has done an amazing job, I have to tell you. Him and his super geniuses.
CBS News has found that more than 12,000 federal jobs have been eliminated or are expected to be terminated, including more than 6,000 IRS workers this week. Most laid off have been recent hires with probationary status, like Katie Sandlin. She only recently moved to the D.C. area from Alabama to work as an educator at the National Institutes of Health, given a termination letter that claimed, "Your performance has not been adequate to justify further employment at the agency." She says her supervisor said there was no problem with her work.
We do important work, we're impactful, and if you have questions or concerns about federal workers, ask one.
Our new administration has accomplished more than most administrations do in 4 years.
Last night, President Trump played up his first month on the job at a Republican governors meeting, including progress on immigration.
We began the largest deportation operation in American history.
U.S. Border Patrol tells CBS News crossings have dropped 94% compared to the same time last year. A downward trend started under the previous administration. Jared Hill, CBS News.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather on the Sixes, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
The Capitol camera has had a few cars drive past, but other than that, it's a quiet start. Not much snow either, just a few flurries potentially drifting by, and that's on top of what fell yesterday. Most spots picked up under an inch, really just a dusting, and that's a trend that is now moving out of our area and down towards the Ohio Valley. We're just seeing clouds, lake effect clouds at that, which means that there are some gaps in them. You could see some sunshine today as the wind just kind of brings in a little bit more of that cloud cover. Wind speeds of around 5 to 10 miles an hour are still making it feel like it's in the low teens, but it's not in the single digits, at least not anywhere right now, and I don't want to jinx it because sometimes these numbers update while I talk. Regardless, today is starting out with a yellow paw, just a little cautionary. It continues to be a little chilly out there for the beginning of the day, but then in the afternoon we'll be near 30 in many spots. Ivy Sassafras probably would like the warmer weather. Smaller pets tend to cool down a little bit faster, but with that much fur, not a problem. And a warm blanket too. If you take your pets outside, have any pictures of them playing around in the snow, just go to WLNS.com/furcast. You can send in videos too. It's whatever you want. If there's like a snake, a bird, you have a gopher.
You can send in videos?
Yeah.
To be on the Furcast? You can put a video on there?
Oh, it'll work.
Oh.
I have
ways.
a great video
Breaking
for you.
news.
Yeah, do it.
It's my parents' puppy
Oh.
trying to pull me
Buddy?
on the leash, Buddy.
Aww.
He started the video was taken Saturday. He started obedience school on Monday.
Nice.
So I'm just going to preface it with that, but I'll send it in.
The video is the reason for the obedience.
No, really. He's nuts. My poor parents. Okay, coming up, the Lansing Symphony Orchestra's music director makes a big announcement, and we've got the details in our What's on the Web segment.
All right.